Three, two, one, action. Welcome back to episode 2 of As Seen on Screen. I'm Gracie Lowe's.
And I'm Nicole, and As Seen on Screen is your entertainment source for news, reviews, interviews, and conversations.
So, without further ado, let's get into the second episode because we have a lot to talk about today.
Yes, we do. I'm excited to get into it. It's going to be a good episode. So, last week, Colleen Hoover had quite the week with some announcements in the media. We
Yeah.
got our first stills of the It Ends With Us film, as well as it was announced that Verity, her novel, is getting a movie adaptation, I believe.
Yeah,
So,
movie on Amazon.
yeah. So let's talk about some of the photos first from It Ends, or yes, It Ends With Us. What are your thoughts? Because I know the internet has a lot of thoughts on this movie.
Honestly, before the photos, I read the book before the film was even announced. So I had a lot of opinions going into this, and she has said that she wrote the characters too young in the book, and she wanted to age them a little more so that it was more realistic, I guess. Thus comes in Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni and the rest of this cast. So I was really torn when they released the casting announcement because I'd pictured them young-ish, not like super young, but like, you know,
Yeah,
25 maybe, like
yeah,
around there. Um, and then no hate to Blake Lively because she can do no wrong. But I was just really torn because she didn't have red hair at the time, and she was also a little bit older than what Lily was described as. So I wasn't completely sold on this idea, along with a lot of other people. Uh, but these look promising. It looks promising to me
the photos don't.
because
Yeah,
it looks realistic. Well, like as realistic as a movie can be. But it looks legit, is what I'm trying to say. Like,
yeah,
some people just thought it was gonna be like a half-ass kind of movie to try and make the fans happy for
right.
everything they've done wrong so far. But you know what? It looks promising, and from the stills we've seen, it does remind me of certain scenes in the book. So I can't complain. I'm going into this open-minded because I want to enjoy it as much as possible for the storyline
Right.
because it is a very hardcore storyline. But how about you?
Okay, I've tried to read this book like 5 times at least, and I'm very bad at like when I'm in school and stuff. I cannot like high school,
I
university. I
feel that.
can't read when I have classes because I feel like I have 800 things to do. So, anyways, I have gotten this book like 5 times to read it, and I've gotten maybe like 3 chapters in, I think was the most, and then I just
You really, it's one of those books you gotta push through. Like it was
I
slow to start. Sorry, Colleen Hoover.
I
Um, but it goes strong. It goes strong. I also don't want to say like, oh my God, it's the best book ever because
right,
it does touch a lot of difficult topics.
yeah.
And I don't want to be like, oh my God, it was such a slay. Like all of it was perfection. Like, no, it was pretty bad. Like plot wise, but like how she wrote it was very beautiful.
Yeah. I think the pictures look, like you said, promising. I think from what we were seeing on TikTok and the first glimpses of Blake Lively and like this like steampunk, like I haven't read
Yeah.
the book, but like from what people were saying, people were like, this is not quite accurate to what we would like to be seeing. And so some of her outfits, I was like, this is quite out there. Like what
I
I
was
know I
gonna
have
say, I feel like the biggest problem people had with this before the stills came out was the outfits looked atrocious.
they did. Like they literally looked like people were saying they got them off Shein, which I didn't think was that far off. I was like, wow, they really just
Honestly, I've seen some better outfits on Shein, so I'm a little concerned about the costume department,
but
but I
honestly,
have
I
hope for them.
yeah, I think the photos looked good. Like you said, it looked like legit, didn't just look like it was thrown together for fun.
Yeah.
I think it looks promising. I'm excited. I feel like the release date for this film has moved like 3 times because on my
Yeah.
other show, I've gone to talk about this movie like 5 times, and we keep being like, oh, nope, not
Mm,
coming out yet.
another
Can't
one.
talk about it.
Yeah, it keeps getting pushed back, which I guess is good in a sense because they want to make it as
Yeah.
close to the material as possible. But it also kind of sucks because it's like, why? Like, how
Right?
many times are you going to push it back before people stop caring?
I feel like when you keep pushing a date back, like a lot for myself with the SAG-AFTRA and WGA strikes last year, when a lot of the projects got pushed, it just like built the anticipation for a lot of them. Like Challengers was my biggest one. I was like waiting and waiting and waiting for it to come out since last November, I think it was.
Mhm.
But like with this movie, like I don't know if we should be building too much anticipation. I can't lie. I don't know how promising it's gonna be.
It's like right now, I want to go in being like, it's gonna be good because they put all this
Yeah.
effort into it. And like when they were first creating the script, they had fans of the book come in and make notes of the script
Oh
so
yeah.
that
That's
it was
cool.
accurate. It's a really cute video. Justin Baldoni brought like super fans in and
Oh,
gave them the scripts and said, make changes.
wow.
And they were like, okay, this needs to be this and this needs to be this, which I think is great on his part, especially for his studio. It's very honest and open with the fans. So I
Yeah.
think that's something I love about him. Also loved him in Jane the Virgin. So
I feel like so many people love Justin, and rightfully so. Who doesn't love Justin Baldoni?
I love his podcast. Justin, if you want to come on this podcast, you can.
You're more than welcome.
Um, but yeah, I think it's going to be a 50-50. It's either going to be a hit or a miss.
I agree. I agree.
There's no in between at this point because the internet is so divided and that's not good sometimes. But Colleen Hoover also had Amazon sign one of her books because they're not doing this movie. What do we think about that?
Again, we're going to continue on the train of books you've read and I haven't. But Verity's one of those books that like a lot of people when they ranked all the Colleen Hoover books, I felt put it very low to the bottom. Like a lot of people I feel like as a whole, maybe
Yeah.
I'm wrong, aren't like a huge
You're not
fan
too
of
wrong.
a huge fan of Verity. So I'm not quite sure what to think about this. I feel like you'll have more an opinion than I will.
Honestly, it was one of those books that I wanted to love it because it was Colleen stepping outside of her comfort zone to say, and going from this like romance problem type trope to this horror thriller romance, which isn't seen a lot in my opinion. I feel like it's either horror or it's romance. There's
Yeah.
not like a mix. Yeah, overall, I was kind of underwhelmed,
Mm.
which sucks because I had heard the opposite. I had had so many great reviews
Oh yeah.
coming into this book, and I got my mom to read it too. So it was good. Like it was very well put together, but overall, I felt like the plot was really slow at the start, and then it was one of those books where the last few chapters was like, here's 10,000 things that we're trying to fit in before the book ends.
Right. And that's never great.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see what they do with it as a movie. Once again, I could not picture any characters when I read this book, which is weird for me because I have a very vivid imagination when it comes to reading.
Yeah.
So I have no expectations for this cast. I
Just
have
nothing.
zero expectations. Yeah, so we're just going with the flow.
Well, moving on to this past week, we had the Met Gala. We are recording this though before the Met Gala, so we can't rate
Mhm.
this year's looks, but we thought it'd be fun to go over some of our top five looks from each of us from past Met Galas. So if you want to start off, Gracie, what do you have on your list?
In no particular order because I could not pick which was the top and which was like the bottom for this five. It was just kind of like, oh, this is stunning. I'm gonna put it in my five.
On the list.
Yeah, you made it. You get a gold star. Um, yeah, first off, I'm not really gonna count this because I have a feeling that you put it on yours as well. But Blake Lively 2022 Met Gala, stunning.
Love
Like,
it.
and the way Ryan Reynolds looked at her when she was doing that transformation
Oh yeah.
adds points to it. That's just an extra one though, because I have a feeling you put that one. So I was trying to be like original. Um, Ariana Grande 2018. She
Yes.
had this like goddess type art dress on, and this bow was this really nice, like see-through lace, and it was just beautiful. Like everybody was staring at her when she walked in. I remember seeing pictures of this on Instagram and being like, wow, she killed the theme this year.
Right? Yeah.
We're done. We can go home.
Everyone go home now.
Literally. Next up, Rihanna. She has so many iconic looks, but specifically the one in 2015, this like yellow long train dress slash coat that she wore was such a vibrant color, but like the detail on it was so nice. And to add to that, the headpiece she wore for it was, it
Yes.
just like pulled it all together. It looks so nice. She slays all of her looks, to be honest. Even if they're not my favorite for some years, she puts her heart and soul into that. Olivia Rodrigo,
Oh, yes.
2022. I'm a sucker for purple, but also butterflies. I think they're so pretty. The purple one was stunning. The high heel shoes, don't know how she walked up the stairs in those,
Right?
but her hair just looks so, I don't even know how to, voluptuous, is that the word?
I
Like,
like it. I love it.
I don't know. She just looked like a goddess at such a, I want to say young age. She's around the same age as me.
Yeah.
I'm obviously not going to the Met Gala, but she slayed it. She represented all the young girls who want to walk the Met Gala carpet, and she did a great job.
Great job, Olivia. Great job.
Great job. 10 out of 10. Uh, Older one, Kendall Jenner, 2021, where she was wearing like these diamonds, but it was also see-through. She ate with that look. She looked so good, and I think it's one of my favorites that she's done, just because I haven't been as like mind blown with the other ones that she's done. This one just really stands out to me.
Yeah.
And lastly, I had to put her on here because she's an icon. She's a co-chair on this year's Met Gala team.
Yeah.
Zendaya 2018 came in looking like a knight.
That
And
was
you
good.
know what? I remember when that picture was first posted and everybody was freaking out, like not even the outfit, they were freaking out about her hair.
Right?
And I
Yes.
think her hair was so iconic.
Zendaya's stylist really, I don't know how long she's had her stylist, if it's been the same stylist since how many years.
I am in love with them.
Like the Challengers press look,
Yes.
Dune press looks, and red carpets
All
and
of her
all.
press looks.
All of her Met Gala looks. Zendaya always shows up killing it.
What are your five?
Yes, my five. Okay. I'm gonna start off with as well, Blake Lively shutout, because we had the same one for 2022, but I also love her 2018 with the red. I love it. It looks so good. I thought that was really pretty. And I mean, Blake, what I love about Blake is when she matches the carpets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How every single year somehow she manages. I mean, have we established whether she knows what it is or not? Because that's just really, really, really good luck if she
It's
manages to do it year after year,
it's the Gossip Girl training, I swear.
right? She knows them too well. She just knows
She,
those stairs.
yeah.
All right, starting off with my oldest look, Naomi Campbell from 1995 in her sparkly silver dress. Love, love, love that look. I thought it was so pretty. I was trying to, all the photos I keep trying to find have like people in it. I can't find one of her in it. I think she just killed it. I love that look. I think because Met Gala is always so like everyone has criticism when it's too simple, and then
Yeah.
everyone also has criticism when it's like way too out there and like crazy. I think
Yeah.
this look is the perfect in between. It's not too simple, not too like crazy wild, but it's very, very elegant for the Met Gala and it's fun. I like it a lot. I thought that was really
I want to wear that dress. Like
right. How
it's
could you not?
stunning.
Okay, my second look is the 2011 Beyonce look. I thought she killed this. I don't usually love the mermaid style of dresses. I don't love like the poofy tulle at the bottom usually, but I think she just looked so good in this look. The gold accents look so good with the black and the cutout at the top, just with the little lace detail. I just love it. It looks so good as usual. Beyonce killing it. My third look is going to be the 2019 Zendaya look, just to change it up a bit from yours. But her
Spice
whole
it up.
Cinderella look, loved it. Again, Zendaya always kills it. Her stylist definitely is incredible. I thought it looks so good. Um, and my last look is Anne Hathaway's look from last year's Met Gala in 2023. I think the internet was very divided on this look, but as soon as I saw the pictures that came out last year, I was like, yes. Imme
I love it. I love
Immediately.
it.
Perfect. I love it. I think it just looks so unique, and I love the look of the pins holding it together. Like, I personally, I'd be terrified to be wearing that.
For real.
One clip comes undone, could end it all. But looks so cute. She even has a little matching jacket and the sleeve, like the non-attached gloves
Honestly,
sleeves.
compared to the other looks we saw last year, like people dressing up as cats,
Last year was rough. I'm not gonna lie.
it was rough. But it also gave me Devil Wears Prada type feel, and I love that.
Yes, yes. And again, we're recording this before this year, so this is why we have no comment on this year's Met Gala because it hasn't happened yet when we're recording this. So here's
Yeah.
to hoping we love this year's looks, and we'll talk about next week our thoughts. But yeah, I
Yeah.
those are our top fives. I love it. I love the Met Gala. It's so much fun.
I know. It makes me feel like it gives the Hunger Games vibes, which is kind of
Yes.
scary,
Yeah.
but it's also just such a fun day. Like, even if you're not into entertainment or you're not into fashion,
Yeah.
you can judge.
Right?
You can judge.
I turn into a fashion critic once a year, and it is this
I'm
time of
like,
year.
I'm here wearing my sweatpants and a baggy hoodie, and I'm like, how are they walking the carpet wearing that? That's ridiculous.
Right? Like you wouldn't catch me dead leaving the house in that. Like, okay.
Literally, as I leave the house looking a mess. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's fun and it's nice because even the celebrities that are there are judging themselves afterwards,
Right? Yeah.
which not trying to promote toxicity to yourself, but like have fun with it. It's just it's a silly, goofy, yet very black tie event. Um, and yeah, it's just it's cool. I love it. I'm not a fashion critic in any way, but I love kind of stepping into that role when I see all these pictures on Instagram. Also the process that goes into it.
Right? I can't imagine like the planning to go into this every year. Like Blake Lively again, like she's almost there every single year. She wasn't there last year, right? Last year. Yeah, but the years before
Yeah,
that she'd been like consistently almost every year. So I can't imagine trying to plan that out and like constantly feeling like you
honestly.
have to like outdo yourself for the last
Yeah.
year because people have expectations now at that point.
Yeah, honestly, I am most excited to see Zendaya because she's giggled at a few like fan edits. Have you seen that edit where she's like wearing a tennis ball dress
Yes,
and her stylist reposted it and he was like, Zendaya, what you think about this? And she was like, you know what? It'd be a statement.
it
So
would be.
part of me is like hoping she pulls up in that.
Did you see the Kelly Clarkson interview that she was on the Kelly Clarkson show and Kelly asked her like, "Oh, so you're a co-chair this year for the gala?
And
What
she,
did?"
I don't know what that means.
She's like, "I don't know." She's like, "I just know I have to show up on time because usually I'm late, so this time
Yeah.
I know I have to be early." I was like dying laughing. I was
Dude,
like, "That's
every year that woman has me stressing that she's not gonna show up, and I'm distraught. And then last minute she'll come and I'll be like, oh, thank God. This is her time to shine. Like, this is
oh, 100%.
basically like she is the Met Gala at this point.
Oh yeah, 100%." All right. I think it's time for us to talk a bit about our weekly watches. So, do
Yay.
you want to go first? I'm just like
Mine, you're,
constantly carting it off to you to go first.
I know, like, ugh. Yeah, okay, you're gonna make fun for mine because there's a trend going on here.
Oh
There's
no.
a trend
Oh no.
with the things I have talked about for the past two episodes.
Oh boy.
I decided to start Mary and George for no particular reason at all.
I
N-
love it.
None other than George himself.
How you liking it?
Nicholas. Nicholas. I've also had him stuck in my head after, once again, Anne Hathaway did that rap about Kelly Clarkson. She wrote this fun little rap about Nicholas and how to say his last name, and it's basically like magazine, but like Galaxine.
Yeah.
And it was so funny, and it's been stuck in my head, and Nicholas has also been stuck in my head. So I was like, why not watch Mary and George?
Okay.
And because I've heard nothing but like good reviews about it.
Yeah.
Everybody raving about the performances and the costumes. So I had high hopes walking into this. Given I'm only 3 episodes in, I don't know. I'm not a period piece person.
Ah,
Like the
well.
only period pieces I really watch are Bridgerton. Like love, love Bridgerton.
That's funny.
So it's definitely a little bit outside of my usual watch and what I do. I literally went from Fallout last week to this, which is very different. But that being said, I do think it is extremely well done. Like the acting in this is impeccable. Obviously, you have Julianne Moore, who knows what she's doing in the entertainment industry and has had years to build her career and her name. So she gives a great performance to the point where I dislike her character a lot. But I don't dislike her because she's an icon. But Nicholas being alongside her, I feel so like bougie calling him Nicholas. I'm just gonna say Nick. Um, Nick being beside her, like he's been beside Anne Hathaway, he's been beside Julianne Moore now. I'm sure there's plenty of others that he has up and coming that we just don't know about yet.
Yeah.
Uh, but he's killed it in every single one of his roles. It's so different yet so similar.
Yeah.
He also has a thing for playing like royalty, which pop off. You do
Right?
you.
Definitely has a
He
track record of that. I think the
he
idea
found
of you
his
was,
niche and he stuck with it.
yeah.
So good for him. But yeah, he puts his everything into this performance. Like it's heartbreaking at times because he's just so in pain for the first like 3 episodes that it makes me so sad because I'm like, no, don't cry. But going on to that, you see his character like slowly start to feel comfortable with himself and the world that he's in. And I think that's very empowering for lots of people, but it is very out there. It's an out there show, so there is nudity, there is sex, there is weird comments, and fantastic outfits on the costume department side. Shout out to them
Good
because
job.
I don't know how they come up with this stuff. But yeah, it's just it's a roller coaster and I'm gonna try and finish it because I want to see progressively how these characters change. I just have not had the time to get past episode 3 because they are like hour-long episodes,
You just really love
which,
watching these long shows. Last week, Fallout, it's like over an hour
dude,
each episode. Now Mary and George, just killing you.
don't get me wrong. Like I love the fact that we're in the era of having long episodes because it gives the directors and the creators the time to put little pieces of intricacy that they might not get if it was like a 30 or 20-minute episode. But I
Absolutely.
do miss the days where you could turn on the TV and be done with a show in like 30 minutes
Oh,
max.
true.
And then it was just an easy watch. Like it wasn't groundbreaking or anything, but like there was a plot, it got solved by the end, it left you on a cliffhanger, you went to the next episode.
Exactly.
I feel like I have watched at least 3 movies in the time I've watched one episode that's an hour long. So mixed opinions on that. Love it, but also sometimes I just miss like sitcoms being short episodes.
Before I get to mine, where can we watch Mary and George? Where is it streaming on?
It is on Prime Video, but you do have to have a Stars subscription.
Ah,
So technically Stars. But it's also on Sky TV, which I had never heard of, but it's a streaming service apparently. So
cool.
Amazon Prime is the main one, but you do have to pay for the Stars subscription.
Gotcha.
Also,
Cool. I
before
want
we
to check
move
that out.
on to yours,
Yeah.
I want to point out the fact. Last week we were talking about Nick, and we were saying he's going places. Obviously, he's up and coming. Not even up and coming at this point.
Yeah, he's
But
here.
he's here. He's here. I wanted to point out that I'm in the phase right now where he is the white boy of the month.
Uh-huh.
And
100%.
I find it so funny because I thought about that last night, and as soon as I thought it, I saw a TikTok, and it was someone at the Idea View premiere giving him a friendship bracelet, and he got so excited, and then he read it, and it said White Boy of the Month,
I love it. I
and he was
love
like,
that.
"Oh, you got it right. Yeah." And I was like, "You know what? The fact that he's embracing this and running with it
Love it.
makes me love him even more."
Right?
But yeah, your weekly watch.
He's so cutie. I actually too I wanted to when you said we're talking about Anne Hathaway and the idea of you, everything like that too. First of all, when I first heard the rap, I ran to last week's podcast episode because I was just editing it, and I was like, "Please say I said his name right," and we were good. We said it right. I was
Literally,
like,
I
"Thank
have a
goodness."
text message that says, "I hope to God I said his name right." And then like 2 minutes later, in all caps, she was like, "Don't worry, I said it right." Yeah.
And did you see as well on Fallon? I think you and I were already talking about this, but Anne Hathaway asked Jimmy Fallon's audience, she's like, "Has anyone read the book?" Because she was about to
Yeah.
explain why, as soon as she saw Nick, she knew he was the right person to be playing Hayes. And this room was just silent. And she was like, "Oh," she was like, "Never mind then." And then Jimmy was like, "If you want an audience that's been reading books, you gotta go over to Stephen Colbert." And I thought
Hmm.
that was so funny. And Hathaway's just like dying laughing, and she's trying so hard not to be like, she's like, "Well, the book does have a following somewhere that's not in this room." But I felt so bad
You
for
were
the
like,
author.
you told me about that. And you're like, "I'm gonna send you the video. I'm gonna send it." And you never sent it.
Oh, my
And then
bad.
last night I was on TikTok and it came up and I was like, "Oh my God, this is what she was talking about." And the silence was deafening. Like
Right?
I would be embarrassed
That's awkward.
to
And
be in that crowd.
anyways, I just thought that was really funny. But onto my weekly watch. Okay, I have two because there's one that's more of like the entertainment newsy type, probably should talk about having watched it. And there's another one that's just been my guilty pleasure watch for the past few weeks, and I'm to the point where I'm just too addicted. Like
You know
it's
what? Say both.
I need to not. So, first one I'll go with is Challengers. I went and saw Challengers over the weekend.
Eh,
I'm definitely in the minority when I say this, so I apologize. But okay, okay.
meh.
Artistically, the movie is amazing. And I saw a TikTok last night and it was talking about how you had to take an AP Lit to understand this movie and get all the little intricacies that they have in here and all the different like ways they kind of express the plot without expressively saying it. So I thought they did a really, really good job at kind of showing the character dynamics and who was really in love with who and maybe who was in love with what instead of who. So I thought they did a really, really good job that way. I don't know what it
But
I don't know what it was about it, but it just because I went into it and everyone who I had known had seen it already was like, "This is the best movie. This is incredible." And I was so excited because I've been excited to see this movie since November, since it was pushed back because of the strikes. It just was like, I don't know. I was underwhelmed. And I don't know why I was underwhelmed because it was really, really, really well done. It's something about it. I was like, I don't know if I was just expecting more, if
yeah.
I was expecting something different. I don't know what it was about it, but I still gave it, I want to say 3.5 stars in Letterboxd, something like that. It was really well done. It's like an incredible film. Just was not my personal favorite. But I thought like Zendaya gives a stellar performance. I love Zendaya. I love her. She does an amazing job in this movie. I don't know, it just wasn't my favorite. I'm sorry. But I
You know
really
what?
loved I really love the concept behind it and I love what they did artistically with it. And I think it was very impressive. Not hating it at all. It just was not my favorite. That's all I'm gonna say.
And you know what? That is okay because we have a similar thing where we absolutely loved The Fall Guy, which came out, and we absolutely loved it. Like we both gave it 5 stars, I'm pretty
Oh
sure.
yes, yeah.
Yeah. And I sent Nicole a picture on Instagram of another person reviewing it, and they gave it 3 stars, and they said that was pushing it.
I was
And we
like,
were like, that
did we
is
watch
ridiculous.
did we watch the same movie? Because yeah,
Because
if
that's
you
not right.
if you listen to last week's episode, I definitely raved on about it for quite a few minutes. So
Yeah. But
we
you know
yeah.
what? To each their own. To
Teach
each
their
their own.
own. Movies are very up to the interpretation of the viewer.
Hmm.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion, even if it's wrong.
Even if it's wrong. That's what people are saying as they listen to your challengers review.
I know, I'm sorry. That's why I was trying to be so nice about it.
You
I really did think it was impressive for the record, and I
know
think it's a
what?
very well-made film. It just was not my favorite because I think it was very different in a way than I was expecting it to be. Um,
Hmm.
but I love the ending. I think people I'm not gonna spoil it or anything, but
Mm,
a lot of people are like, I don't understand what happened. I don't understand what happened. And immediately I think like what they did to tell you what the ending was, I was like, that is genius. I thought that was amazing. Just saying. But
yeah, I haven't seen it
anyways,
yet. I'm hoping to have seen it by next week, but or whenever this episode comes out. But yeah, I've heard good things, except for Nicole.
I'm
But
so
even you said good things, like the
yeah,
training that went into it, the just everything, the effort they put into it helps to make it better.
absolutely.
So
My
we'll see if
only
I get my review. We'll see if I say Nicole's wrong.
I think she might, but that's okay. Um, my other weekly watch of the week that I have to definitely give an honorable shout out to, even though the show is as old as I am, I love I've been binging Desperate Housewives. I don't know why. Like I don't know what made me start watching this show because I had ended my other show, Greek, on Disney Plus. You should also go watch Greek because I love Greek. Also another, I think it's from 2007. So I've been in the rewatch, not rewatching, but watching old shows from the earlier 2000s. But on Disney Plus, they have Desperate Housewives on there. I've absolutely been addicted to it. It's so good. It's so much drama and it's so like as I'm watching their lives unfold, I'm like, is this something I'm gonna have to worry about in my future? Because I really, really hope not. Because these seem really far-fetched and unrealistic, but then at the same time, I'm like, is it really? So I don't know. I love it. I think it's just so funny. It's such a guilty pleasure. They're 45-minute episodes, so they're not too long. They're like just the standard hour TV show. So they're just great. That's been what that is what I've watched all week. So if I'm really giving a weekly watch, it's that. So you should
I feel
go
that.
you should go stream Desperate Housewives on Disney Plus. Even though it's not new, there's no news about it. It's old,
No
but
news.
it's good and you should go watch it.
Yeah, I feel like reality TV is always like a weekly watch, but it's like a guilty pleasure weekly watch.
But see, it's not even reality TV. Every time I say it, I think everyone thinks I'm talking about like the Housewives of New Jersey or the Housewives of Atlanta. It's just
Yeah,
like
I
your
guess.
fictional, like, you know? I love it.
Fictional housewives.
Exactly. There's I also found out there was a spin-off show called Devious Maids. I think it's Devious Maids. Also on Disney Plus. I don't know if I'm recommending that. I haven't watched that, so don't take my
She
this is
said,
not
I'll
a
get back to you.
this isn't a recommendation by any stretch. I don't know if it's good, but I was just laughing because the poster's like the exact same as Desperate Housewives. It's just I was like, Devious Maids? Really?
Love that.
Yeah, so those are our weekly watches. So check out Mary and George, Desperate Housewives, and Challengers in theaters now.
Next up, we're gonna talk about our songs of the week.
Oh,
So I'm gonna switch it up and throw it to you first
okay.
because I've been answering all the questions first.
Yes. Okay. Another my song of the week is actually again another it's not new. I apologize.
Eh,
I This week has definitely been a throwback week for me. So, my song of the week is Like a Wrecking Ball by Eric Church. Um I
mm.
I didn't even know the song existed, which I'm very sad to say. I'm sorry,
Eh,
Mr. Eric Church, but I was at work and it came on and Shazammed it. And I was like, oh, because I was like, is this a new church song? And then I was like, this is not new. This is not a new song. I've just been very late to figuring this song out, but so good. I love it. I love Eric Church.
I
I
swear.
I found it funny because this week I saw a lot of stagecoach backlash from his
Hmm.
set and doing the whole a cappella and not a cappella, but choir with the choir behind him.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were upset about that. And then Morgan Wallen also brought him out for a song too on his set. So I think a lot of people were mad about that. I could see why they were mad about that, but then at the same time, I'm like, you know what? You're going to see the artist perform. The artist doesn't have to perform.
Perform the way you want.
Yeah, like if he's doing what he wants, and I thought like it's not like it was a normal like concert, like it wasn't like a part of a tour or anything like that. Like it's a
Yeah.
festival. I thought it
Yeah,
was kind of cool what he did to change it up differently. He still performed some of his hit songs. I know he missed quite a few, which again, I understand. If you went to see Eric Church and he didn't play some of your favorite songs, like
yeah.
his more popular ones, totally understand that as well. But I thought it was kind of cool. But yeah, so shout out Eric Church because I've been enjoying Like a Wrecking Ball this week. That has been my song of the week.
On your point, I think work is sometimes where you find the best songs.
Right?
Like, I don't know why, but sometimes they just hit. And I'm
M-
like, wow, why have I never heard this outside of this vicinity?
Right? My thing at work is we use Apple Radio. And
Mm,
so it's almost like a playlist. It's less of a radio station because there's like 8 million radio stations.
yeah.
And every time I go in, I always put the country stations on. Granted, I always put the same country station on
Eh,
because some of the other ones are a little questionable or they play either really, really old stuff, which I know everyone would hate me for playing. So
yeah.
I play like the country hits station. And it's literally like a playlist because every single day when I go into work, it's the exact same songs playing almost in the exact same order. So when I
Mm.
heard this song, hadn't heard it before, I was like, thank goodness we're A, finally changing up the playlist, and B, I was like discovering a new old song. So I was very excited.
A
So,
new old song.
right?
But I have two songs of the week this week because I'm
Ooh.
very indecisive, but also biased. So
All right, let's hear them.
my first one is Feminine Energy, which is by my friend Danny Doucette. She has had a pretty good run with this song so far, and the music video is coming out May 3rd. I'm super excited for it because I know she put so much effort into this. And it's also just like a club banger.
That's
Like,
cool.
I don't know how to describe it other than it's a female empowerment song. It gets you in the mood to go party, even though I sit at home all the time. And yeah, it's a badass song and she put a lot of effort into it and it's so cool to see radio stations like reciprocating that effort to her. Just a girl power song. So I can't not say it. Second one just came out May 2nd. It is on the Idea of You soundtrack. I am the biggest advocate for August Moon. I swear. We saw that movie and I walked out and I was like, I need a tour right now. I don't care. Give me everything. So that one is Guard Down, but it's such a good song. It brings me back once again to like One Direction vibes, like 2015, I think. And it's just a feel-good song, but it has that old like pop feel to it
Love it.
where it just kind of transports you back and you're like, mm, this is this is what I've been looking
Perfect.
for in a boy band. But yeah, I'm kind of biased for that because I love all the music that came out of that movie. So
Yeah,
it is what
it
it
had
is.
some great. I was very happily surprised that they had so many great songs, August Moon, in
Yeah,
The Idea of You. That was very exciting. And you're right, totally One Direction vibes. I love it.
I love it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
so
those were our songs of the week.
so go stream Like a Wrecking Ball and then last week's releases of Guard Down and Feminergy.
Mm.
All right. Well, we're getting close to the end of this week's episode, but I want to talk a bit about upcoming releases as we do every week. So, what do we have? What do we have releasing? It is Thursday, May 9th. So, this week there's been a few releases. There's a few releases coming out. So, what do we have in film and television?
Yeah, starting off, it's a lot of TV shows this week. That's what we
Yeah.
noticed. But you know what? TV shows are a slay. And next week is a big week for movies. So
Yes.
we'll have lots to talk about in the next episode. But anyway, getting back to this week, Dark Matter is coming out on Apple TV on May 8th. So that's exciting.
I've heard some exciting early reviews about that. It looks good from the trailer.
It looks really good. I'm
Yeah.
excited to watch it. It's one of those shows where I don't have any expectations walking in,
Mhm.
but I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, me too. We have Maxton Hall coming out on Amazon Prime Video on May 9th. However, if you actually go onto Prime Video, it says it's releasing May 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you never know. Sometimes the times they release it at is a little ahead or behind of
Mhm.
what they say. So Who knows? So, Maxton Hall is based on Mona Caston's bestseller novel Save Me, and it's about when Ruby unwittingly witnesses an explosive secret at Maxton Hall Private School. The arrogant heir, James Beaufort, has to deal with quick-witted scholars' students, for better or worse. He's determined to silence Ruby. Their passionate exchange of words expectingly ignites a spark. So it
I'm
sounds
so excited
interesting.
for this.
Yeah,
Sorry, I had to cut in.
I'm excited for this. I keep seeing a bunch of like trailer clips on TikTok and people reacting to it, and it looks good. I'm excited to check this one out.
I'm like, this is one of those ones, as we say when we see movies and TV shows like this, it will have me kicking my feet and giggling.
It's
Like,
yeah,
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 looks good.
definitely.
You can never go wrong with like the private school dramas. It gives me very much like Gossip Girl vibes in a
Yeah.
way. I'm excited.
But next up, we have Pretty Little Liars Summer School, which will be on May 9th
I'm
on
so
Max.
excited. I'm so excited.
Nicole and I are very excited for this one because it's season two of the, I guess, spin-off Pretty Little Liars series.
Yeah,
Um,
last year it was called Pretty Little Liars Original Sin
mhm,
for season one, and they've now renamed it, which is an interesting choice actually, because
yeah.
if you didn't really know they were connected, like you'd be like, what is happening here? But Summer School is the name for the season two of the show.
Mm.
I'm a huge Little Liars fan. I love the original series. I actually haven't read the book, so I guess maybe not that big of a fan, but
Eh,
um, I'm a huge fan of the show. I when did you we talked about this earlier. Did you watch the spin-off series, The Perfectionists? I think it
I did
was
not. I didn't
2019.
watch it.
It was not good, so
Eh,
don't worry. And it was canceled after season one. It was really sad because in that series they actually broke up. This is a spoiler, so don't listen if you want to watch it.
mm,
But they broke up Allison and Emily in
uh-huh.
that series. I was like, why? For what reason?
What was the reason?
They were a little toxic in the show, so maybe they weren't
Yeah.
the exemplary couple, but I was like, that's so sad for no reason. But getting back on track to summer school, I thought season one of this show was great. I love Bailey Madison, so I thought
Yes.
she did a great job in this show, as well as the rest of the cast. They all did awesome. I thought this was a fun series and
Hmm.
definitely more gory and like horror vibes than even the original Pretty Little Liars series.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what they do with the second season. We see in the trailer that Dr. Sullivan comes into it more from the original
Yes.
Pretty Little Liars series. So I like how they the little intricacies. And from season one, again, spoiler, if you haven't watched season one, don't listen to the next few seconds. But I love how Imogen gives her baby to Arya and Ezra. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if they'll touch on that at all again this season, like make any references to it. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? I'm very excited.
I'm super excited for it. Once again, I love Bailey Madison. I actually did an Instagram live with her once, and it was like the best moment of my life
How did I not know
because we
this?
just fangirled. Oh yeah, I like requested to be on her live stream one day, and she was like, accept. And then I like picked up the phone and I was like, oh my God, hello. So we kind of just fangirled about her past roles. This was before she had Pretty Little Liars. So we were talking about like Maxine from Wizards of Waverly Place,
Yep.
which I was a huge fan of, and then she appeared in a Megan Trainor music video, and we were
Oh,
kind of geeking out about that because I have a deep love for Megan Trainor, and so does she. So we were basically planning to be like best friends,
I
and
love
I'm
that.
pretty sure I still have videos of it somewhere. I was a nerd. I was geeking out. I was like, oh my gosh, this is my claim to fame.
You were holding out on me on that. That is
Like,
exciting.
I've
Only
had
c-
a lot of Instagram lives with a few people who like started out small, I guess, and then just blew up. And I keep that in my back pocket. And I'm like, I went on live with them before you even knew who they were.
well, we'll discuss this after. We're gonna have a long conversation afterwards about this because I want to hear about
Yes.
him.
Okay. Side note, have you watched The Summer I Turned Pretty?
Yes,
Okay. Jeremiah Fisher, live stream with him.
you didn't. What?
I did a live stream with him.
So much I don't know about you.
And we were gonna work together. We were gonna collab because he needed a video editor, and I was like, I will edit all your videos for free. And he was like, Bet. I'm gonna hit you up. Never hit me up.
That's
So
unfortunate. But yeah,
it's okay.
Gavin's a little questionable, I think. Oh, Gavin.
Hmm.
I have a lot of
Anyway,
backlash, but poor man. But anyways,
back to Pretty Little Liars. I'm super excited for this season. I am a huge scaredy cat, which is funny because I watch all these like thriller and horror things. Not to the extent you do, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny, yet gory, but it still kept like a steady plot line.
yeah.
So I'm excited to see it. But apart from that, we also have a movie. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is in theaters May 10th.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, mind you, the, the first thought that comes to my head is my dad, because my dad's a big
Oh my
fan
God,
of
me too.
Planet of the Apes.
Literally.
I myself haven't watched any of them, I don't think, unless I've just been sitting with my dad in the living room while he watches it and I wasn't paying attention.
Stop, that's
Um,
me too.
but I know that I'll probably end up going seeing this with him because he wants to go see it. And I know my mom won't because
We
she
literally, me and my dad literally had this conversation the other day. He was like, "It looks so good," and I was like, "I'll go see it with you." And he's like, "Eh, huh,
yeah, yeah, my dad's like, I can just watch it at home. I'm like,
yeah,
Dad, you like come on now. Come on.
come on."
But in all honesty, as someone who hasn't like really followed the franchise faithfully, the trailer looks interesting. The actor, I forget the lead actress's name. I'm blanking, but
Yeah.
um she looks like she does a great performance. She was just on Collider's Girls' Night with Perry Nemiroff.
Hmm.
Um,
I
or
love
she's
her.
going to be. Perry posted some photos of it
Yeah.
the other day, so I don't know when that interview comes out, if it already isn't out. But she looks fun and the movie looks fun, so I might end up go seeing it. I'll let you know if it's my weekly watch for next week. But yeah,
Could you imagine? I'm gonna be shocked if that's your weekly watch for next week.
I'm gonna have to watch something else just so I don't have to say my weekly watch is Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. I mean, I watched a lot this week, but it was mostly like rewatches, so I didn't
Yeah,
really count those, but
yeah, but
whatever.
early reviews of the film are generally saying it's good.
Yeah.
So I think it should be good. I'm laughing at the trailers because it's like summer has started and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is in theaters. I'm like, nope, that title belongs to Fall Guy.
Literally. Literally.
But nonetheless, I digress. I think it looks fun. If you like that kind of movie, if that's your thing, it looks good. So go catch Planet of the Apes in theaters this weekend. All right, well, that is all we have for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. It was so fun talking about all things entertainment, the Met Gala, Colleen Hoover, our weekly watches, and upcoming releases. So catch all of those in theaters or at home on streaming this weekend. And thanks for tuning in.
Can't wait to see you next week for our new episode on Thursday.
Yes, tune in wherever you find your podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Gracie, and we'll see you next week on As Seen on Screen.
Bye.
Bye.